Lukaku with a brace. Belgium with a 3-0 win, and they looked very, very good and very, very comfortable tonight up against Russia. Of course, with the home team tonight. The score was Belgium-Russia, but Russia were the home team tonight with that home advantage. But it counted for very, very little in the end. Lukaku given 2 sniffs, 2 goals. A quiet second half, really, for Belgium. They reserved a hell of a lot of energy. It's going to be very tough, a very grueling, and a very, very difficult European Championships for teams. Almost 13 months of continuously playing football, but excellent. Absolutely excellent tonight from Belgium. I felt they pressed at the right times. They played through the kind of weird half press from Russia. They just took them apart in that first half. And once they scored that second goal, they took the foot off the gas. It's one of my favorite things I love watching from a technical point in football is game management. When you see a nation, when you see a team simply take their foot off the gas, manage the situation well, and just see the game through at a canter. I enjoy watching it because it shows you they're thinking beyond the end of their nose. They didn't go out there and try and win 4-5, 6-0, waste loads of energy. They're thinking about the next few games. Winning your opening game almost guarantees you qualification through to the next round, almost guarantees you, which we knew Belgium were going to do anyway. A lot of people didn't fancy them for this tournament, and they've started off very well, laid down a good marker. A bit of admin before we go any further on tonight's show. If you're watching over on Twitch, make sure you're hitting the follow button. If you're watching on Twitter, please retweet. Please hit that like button and follow us over there. And to all our wonderful community today, I think we're brilliant. To be fair, the vast majority, 95% of you, absolutely brilliant today, especially when, all the horrible, harrowing news regarding Christian Eriksen took place. 95% of you that tuned in, humble, great message. And that's what we're here for. We're here to talk to each other about football at times, but also there for each other, through difficult times as well. And, our job is to deliver match reactions and news and transfers and player debates. And it's difficult at times. And thank you for helping me through that at the same time. And of course, all our thoughts and prayers go to Christian Eriksen, that's making what, by the sounds of it, of sort of a good recovery already. He's been FaceTiming his squad, of course, having more tests, but it doesn't appear as serious as it may be looked at one point. But I'm only going by reports, and I pray that there's nothing underlying serious, and he makes 100% recovery, and very, very quickly as well. But to that Football Terrace YouTube community, hit that like button, share the stream on your social media platforms, and ensure that you've got the bell notification button turned on as well. There's a comment here from Artem that says, frustrating when your country loves football, has 100 million people, yet fails to produce a top talent that will compete with big teams in Europe. Expected a loss today, hoping we turn up for Denmark and Finland. And from a Russia point of view, considering how much the nation of Russia loves football, the amount of people that live there, and the money in your country, it is surprising that you don't have a better football team, or haven't had a great football team for a fair while now. I'd love to understand why, Artem. Thank you very, very much for that super chat. It means a great deal to us. It really does. We've got a poll out tonight as well. You can see it when you log in. Is Romelu Lukaku world class? I want to know. I want to know if you think Lukaku is world class. That's what we're going to be taking calls on primarily tonight. He left Man United, and there was a lot of question marks. And I've always defended him on this. I would always say that his build-up play wasn't particularly great. But one area where I definitely defended him was this whole first touch myth. I always felt with him that he had less... He would give the ball less away with his first touch than Harry Kane's, Mo Salah's, Sergio Aguero's in the Prem. But it was just when he did, it could be quite calamitous. It would be quite comedic. So people would naturally assume via mental heuristics that availability bias as well plays into that, because they're funny, that he would do it too frequently. And we've seen him in Inter Milan this year look better and better. He's worked very hard with Antonio Conte to work on his hold-up play. And yes, some will say it was against an average Russia team, but he was very, very good when he was needed today. He looks calm. He looks fit. He looks trim. Lukaku looks the absolute real deal. And I know a lot of Chelsea fans were sort of umming and ahhing as to whether or not they would like him back at Chelsea, should that deal end up being possible. I wonder if any Chelsea fans tonight have potentially changed their mind and think, actually, could be a great alternative to what else we were looking at. Monsieur Ahmed here says, I was surprised Belgium started 3 at the back. I didn't know what to make. I think for me, it's what I love about Euros and World Cups, that they are a learning curve in relation to that. You've got, I think there could be formation changes for certain teams, horses for courses, depends who they're playing, depends on rotation. It's going to be very hot in a lot of the countries that these teams are playing in, a lot of football in a short space of time. So rotation, variance in terms of formations, I think would be very, very likely at this point. Nathaniel says you always rated him. Prince just says no. I'm not too sure. Man says praising young Hazard there. Let's go to a few more. Cavani is better than Lukaku, is what Sachin says. His first touch has been great this season. Well, he's obviously worked on it, but with Lukaku, I did a video on this years ago on the terrace, and use stats to prove it. Loss of possession or bad first touch statistics show that Lukaku wasn't that much worse than anybody else peer for peer at the elite level of the game. It was just when they were bad, they were really bad. What then happens is we use mental heuristics, like mental shortcuts, when making decisions all the time. And we have to do this as human beings. Otherwise, we would be physically exhausted if we literally, every decision we made or every choice we made or every opinion we created, if we thoroughly investigated every single decision we make deeply and methodically, we'd be we wouldn't even be able to leave the house for work. Imagine that I'm going to walk down the stairs, but how am I going to walk down the stairs? Do I go to put my foot slightly sideways in front? What have I done before? Yeah, but let me just Google statistically what's the safest way of walking down the stairs. Okay, they say sideways, but hold on with one arm. So I'm going to hold down with one arm. But how do they say I should get off at the bottom? Should I turn left or turn right? How am I more likely to break my knee if I turn left than if I turn right? Let me Google it. Let me find out. So you use mental heuristics to make very quick decisions. We do this in sport a lot. Availability bias plays a big part, and Lukaku always had that with his first touch, because it was always, there was memes and there was clown-like video played to like Lukaku nearly breaking his leg controlling a ball. You naturally think he has a terrible first touch. What you don't look at is the majority of times that he doesn't lose possession with his first touch. His build-up plays definitely improved. That wasn't good enough at Manchester United, in my opinion. But he's gone on to another level now, Lukaku, and he's absolutely scintillating. There is no doubt about it whatsoever. Steven says, put one foot in front of the other one, Terry. Absolutely. What type of analogy is that? Just research mental heuristics, mental shortcuts in decision-making. You do them all the time without thinking about it. The problem is, it's perfect for walking down the stairs, getting into the shower, making a cup of tea. As an example, you make those decisions all the time. But when it comes to assessing football players or making a business decision, it can sometimes be dangerous. Essentially, we assume, based on availability of information, what is right or wrong. And in Lukaku's case, people often assumed it was his first touch that was the issue. It wasn't. It was working with his back to play. It was knowing what to do. The hold-up play is a very difficult thing to do in football. Sergio here says, Terry, that's called coaching. Man United need a coach. And you know what? It's interesting. Absolutely. Jose Mourinho didn't coach, didn't spend the time that Antonio Conte has done with Lukaku to make him the player that he is. You're absolutely right. And that's someone that you can definitely look at. Let's do a few more comments here. Lukaku is proving the haters wrong. Why he is one of the best strikers in the world for club and country. And he's got 62 goals in 93, 94 appearances. It's absolutely sensational. It is sensational. And that now also, I'm just looking at this in terms of major competitions. He scored, I'm just going to count these up one by one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's his 6th goal now at knockout competitions, I think. Yeah, that's what it appears like. That's his 6th goal at knockout competitions, which isn't bad, but I think he'll push on massively. I think he could, getting 2 goals in the opening game gives you a really good chance of being the Golden Boot winner in this tournament. Let's see what he does. Jose destroyed United and players that they had in it. Terry, talk about the real Hazard. Yeah, I was really impressed. Do you know what? I was really impressed with him tonight. I was really impressed with young Hazard because, you know, he was at Chelsea. He was always behind. He was always like second fiddle, wasn't he, to Eden Hazard? And I think Borussia Dortmund's been such a good club for him. The way he's progressed, the way he's moved forward, you know, and seeing him start tonight in front, he did start tonight, didn't he? In front of his brother was great. And I thought he played really, really well. I thought he played well. I didn't think he was like world-class, outstanding, but I thought he was really, really well. Very efficient, very tidy, very good technically. And yeah, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see whether he stays in the team over his brother throughout the course of the tournament. No doubt about it. Terry, mate, massive respect to you, mate. I was grief-stricken during the Eriksen situation today, and took me back to when I was 10 and going through Mwamba's collapse. Can't wait to call in. Stay safe. Like, absolutely. And you know, we just wanted to put out a message. You know, a lot of people did spaces, a lot of people did tweets, a lot of people did videos, a lot of people did on Twitter and Insta, you know, wishing well. And, you know, we wanted to do exactly the same thing here at the Terrace as well. And as I say, the reports are so positive about Christian Eriksen. And the one thing that stood out to me is they FaceTimed him to see what he thought about them playing the game. The fact that they felt comfortable bothering him with such a decision tells you that he must be in a very stable condition, because there's no way his teammates would have even thought of asking him if he wasn't conscious, well, alert, all things being considered. And thank God for the great medical staff. Thank God for the doctors and all the medics and everybody that revived him and sorted him out at stadiums. And you mentioned Fabrice Mwamba, and the Mwamba situation is probably the reason that Christian Eriksen is going to make a full recovery. Fingers crossed, God willing, because the changes of protocol at stadium after that situation came in, and often protocols only change after tragedy happens. And of course, Mwamba himself recovered and got through it. But maybe that situation has now saved more lives. So yeah, it is very, very important to mention that element. Comment from one of our members here says, I see how Lukaku's career flourished since leaving United. A beautiful sight. KDB and Lukaku link up is going to be mad. Yeah, I mean, KDB still to be added to this team. Eden Hazard getting fitter for this team. Look, Belgium are another side that so many people what's it got wrong? Just wrote off without even there was like zero consideration that they could do anything in this tournament. There really was. We're going to share the link now on the Discord server. We're going to put it into the StreamYard link call-in box. We're going to put it in there. I'm going to share it. I'm going to post it to everyone so you can all see it. That's been posted and that's been published. If you want to phone in and have your say, it'd be really great to hang on a second. Just posting it into the WhatsApp group as well, in case anyone's about from the Terrace. Anyway, let's jump into what you're all thinking, feeling, and saying here this evening. We'll also we're going to pump it into the comment section as well for anyone that doesn't use Discord, because I know not everybody uses it there. If you want to phone in and have your say, big shout out again to everyone watching on Twitter. A big shout out to everybody watching over on our brand new Twitch channel as well. Thank you all very, very much indeed. Lukaku, my top goal scorer as well. Zard balling out. Good day at the office. We've got Gooner Express to come. We've got Donny James. David's going to be with us first to have his say as well. David, welcome back to the Terrace, mate. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing a lot better than earlier. After watching what happened, I was really worried, and it's really good sign that he's clearly in a better place. So good things, you know. It looked like a tragedy, but luckily, you know, the ambulances and the medical staff who were there did a really good job. So good. Yeah. And also well done to Finland as well. No one gave them a hope, and they won the game and respectfully celebrated in their own way. So that was good to see. That was good to see. Belgium, though, I mean, I predicted them to go to the semi-finals. The only reason they don't make the finals because of France. So I'm not shocked that they've beaten Russia 3-0. Russia didn't really look up for it. I don't know what they were like. It was a weird sort of press, but not. It was kind of half-hearted in a way. They'd get to the middle and sort of press, and then just drop back when they got near the box. It didn't really work. Lukaku, two chances, 2 goals. I mean, clinical striker, very clinical striker. I thought Torgan Hazard, he has the ability, him and Carrasco both have the ability to play on the wing and wing back as well. So they're very easily able to switch positions during the game and really expose that wing. So overall, it just shows that Belgium have a lot of options going forward. And defensive, obviously their defense still needs to be tested. That's one thing that Russia didn't do. They didn't really test them at all. I thought Zuba, their big target man for Russia, would have done a bit more. But like every time he got near it, he kind of just didn't really look like he was going to do anything like the whole game.
Bro, Russia just looked. Do you know what was really sad?
They looked lost.
They did look lost, but as well, when I saw and I'm going to forget how to pronounce his name correct now, the old gentleman, he's 38. I forget his name. I literally forget his name. I shouldn't forget his name.
What is he a player?
Yeah, the Russian player, about 38 years old. I can't remember his name.
Ignesevich or something.
No.
Zuba, Artem Zuba.
No, he's the old guy. I can't remember. Why can't I even say his name? I even know that's his name here. I can't say it now. I can see it.
Zhirkov. He was lost.
But do you know what it was? I looked at him and I was like, my first thought was, like when you watch a film and it might finish in the 80s. And then it comes back like Karate Kid, and you got Sensei Reese, the main instructor. You think, wow, he got old. That's how I felt about Zhirkov. It was like, look how old he looks. I couldn't believe he was still playing. I legitimately couldn't believe he was still playing.
He was great on the sides. He got subbed off, and the guy who got subbed on also got subbed off. It was a complete mess. The whole game was a mess for them. They had no answer for what Belgium were doing. And then ultimately in the second half, Belgium just kind of went, well, we're winning by 2 goals. They're not going to score. We'll just do what we like Chelsea do. We'll just sit back the most of the game. They're not going to score against us and we'll hit them on the counter. And Romelu Lukaku on the counter looks like a problem. Before, like he'd be good on the counter, but you wouldn't want him being the guy with the ball. You want him being on the end of the chance. Today, he looked very confident with the ball at his feet. Very confident. There was one time in the first, like midway through the first half, where the defender literally got him at the end, but the way he carried that ball, like I was very impressed. Would I want him over Haaland? No, but he's not a bad option. He isn't a bad option. So.
Yeah. And would you say he's now moved himself into that world-class category?
As I normally have the rule of give it 2 or 3 years. His numbers like would say he is a world-class. When you look at it, the records he's broken with like fastest to 100 goals or 50 Premier League goals. I can't remember which one it is, but he's like one of the elites. The only problem is that because of the Man United stint, his progress kind of got halted halfway through, so it's kind of split up. I think he needs to, if he does it for one more season, then I'll very confidently say he's world class. But the talent, the level he's performing at right now is of a world class level. I'll say that. Is he a world class player yet? Maybe not, but the talent is there. It's definitely there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Listen, David, thanks for calling in, mate, and having your say. Top man. Thank you very much indeed. Jerome here says a big shout out to Denmark, who kept on playing the game. Such a shame they didn't win the match. I wish Eriksen a quick recovery. And yeah, I felt like that. It was just, I tweeted out, I want Denmark to win the tournament now. You kind of feel that connection with them. Of course, the people. It's an interesting one because social media is such an interesting place when events like this happen because, I saw someone tweet out about how sorry they felt for the Denmark fans and then people were attacking them and be like, no, it's not about them. It's about Eriksen. It's like, well, they've witnessed it. It's someone they love and they adore. It hurts them in a different way. And like my view is just let's be a little bit kinder to each other. Someone might make a mistake. Be kind to them. There's always. I just feel like whenever there's a tragedy or something bad happens, there's still knives and daggers out going for people, and it's just be kind to each other. And as I said, I was so impressed with 95%. Actually, to be fair, on the Get Well message and what we put out, we did it along with our partners at Give Me Sport. We made a internal sort of executive decision to like turn off comments and it really frustrated me. Do you know why? Because every single name that I recognized as football terrace viewers, pleasant, beautiful comments, and then some random people that I'd never seen just writing nasty stuff. So we just said, look, we haven't got the time to sit there and review every comment coming in. So let's just like put that down and people can just think about what they need to think. And it's, it's nice. And it's just that small minority of people that make things horrible and nasty like that. But a big shout out to Denmark. And I did feel a little bit for Finland as well, because it's their first ever goal at a major tournament and they didn't get to celebrate it probably how they would like to. But there's also a beauty in that. There's the beauty in, we love football, but football brings us together. And in moments like this, that's where I think that's why I'm saying, be kind, be nice to one another. For a day, put your agendas aside. For a day, put your nonsense aside. For a day, put the abuse aside. For a day, just be nice to each other. And, I went and did after the stream is, I went and, bathed my kids and laid with them on their beds until they fell asleep and just thought, you know what? Could have been a really, really horrible day today. And God willing, it isn't going to be. And I think people need to sort of just think a bit more about that sometimes. That's just my view. Anyway, kind of rant over about that. We're going to go to Gooner Express next. Welcome back to the terrace, mate. What do you want to say, buddy?
Obviously, yeah, first things first, echo everything David said about Eriksen. Very happy to hear that he's recovering. And also shout out to Anthony Taylor. He gets a lot of stick as an English referee, but he did really well today. So did his team for obviously acting quickly, and it probably saved a life. So to him and the medical team, they've earned my respect today. But in terms of Belgium, I mean, yeah, I didn't captain Lukaku in FPL, and I'm kind of annoyed I didn't, because this guy is just going to score goals, isn't he? He's definitely already contender for the Golden Boot. He's just quality, and I get what people say when he's not a good footballer but a good goal scorer, because I see an Aubameyang like that. But I don't think that's true, because Lukaku does bring more to the game than just goals. He'll bring you creativity. He'll bring you pace. He can split a defence, whereas other strikers that score goals can't do that. So for me, he's definitely world class. Like, he's just won Inter Milan a league, and when did anybody but Juventus last win a league title over there? So that kind of says it all for me, that he's a world class striker. Any team that buys him, if they do buy him, whether it be Chelsea, City, anybody, their team's going to improve. And I get that he had that poor stint at United, but again, certain players can recover from poor stints. But unfortunately, if that isn't in England, English fans don't see that, and the English media don't see that. So he's definitely haunted by his time at United. But I mean, he's won trophies. Again, he's scoring goals like it's nothing. So I don't think he's going to care. And if you watch football and you can understand talent, you can accept that he's a very good footballer still.
Yeah. Do you know what? Do you know what, mate? What I love about what you said there, and you're bang on about it, is this: players can go through stints, bad runs, bad seasons. The problem we have is there are these two aliens that have ruined that element of football. These two aliens that about 15 to 20 years ago came down from Jupiter and Mercury and started playing football with us mere humans, and they broke the barometer for what great looks like. They started scoring and assisting more goals per season for almost a decade than they played games. And they broke things. And I love Messi and Ronaldo, but they've almost ruined it for others. People actually sometimes look at 30 goals a season in all comps and go, oh, it's not that much now, is it? It's almost like, and it's the world we live in now. We live in the world of extremities. Everybody's polarized. It's one thing or another. There is no gray area. And, the majority of us live in this middle section. If you get where I'm coming from, it's almost like Messi and Ronaldo shouldn't be the barometer for anybody. We were in this row on Twitter last night. I don't think you could find me an attack-minded player, so someone who is a out-and-out playmaking 10, their job is to create goals and assists, or goal scorers, strikers or inside forwards. You can't find me one that the world universally says is a great, that doesn't have good, very good, outstanding numbers. The problem you have is that people think that Ronaldinho's numbers aren't out of this world because they're nowhere near Messi and Ronaldo's, but they're the extremities that don't make sense. In the same way, if you find a really good world-class attacker who has average numbers but still influential, they're a rarity as well. There'll be a handful maybe, but the general rule is there in that middle. And Lukaku is that. Lukaku had a couple of bad seasons because it didn't work out for him at Manchester United. But in the modern day world, that is enough for people just to write someone off, to never give them the chance to bounce back, and then to almost just say, I don't care what they do from now on in, they're finished. And I'm really happy for Lukaku, if I'm being honest, that he's found his feet, that he's playing so well, and that he's improved so much.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's many players for me that are like that. I think Coutinho is kind of in that bracket. Obviously, he hasn't fully recovered in terms of began to play well again. but he's still got another 2-3 years in his prime left. So that pause stint at Barcelona and the way that he left Liverpool, again, that will haunt him. And even if he goes to a Chelsea or even an Arsenal, obviously I don't want him, but say he did come to Arsenal and he did start playing well, it's the same situation. People are always going to go back to that poor run. And again, Alexis Sanchez fits in that. He's actually done quite well for Inter Milan. Yet his time at Man United, that even now overshadows his Arsenal career. So as a footballer now, you have to be either perfect or you're not world class anymore. And again, you've said it perfectly. Messi and Ronaldo, because they're so perfect, everybody expects the same. And they're two players that you'll never see again. You know, they're that good. You're never going to see a player like them. So yeah, I mean, it's football, isn't it?
Do you know what's interesting about that? What's interesting about that? In my career, I did a lot of work around customer journeys. I'm not going to bore you with customer journeys, customer satisfaction, and how to make it better, but it's what I specialize in. I'm actually really good at it, to be fair. And one of the big things we used to teach was about peaks. And the peak of someone's experience will often outweigh everything else. So if the peak of the experience is something that's outstanding, they will ignore all the issues that they had with things. So they could have, oh, this was an issue, that was an issue, this was an issue. But the best part was so good, you ignore everything else. Example in football, your favorite player that does some amazing things, we all know we do this, we'll ignore their flaws because they don't really matter to us because we love the great things that they do. If the peak, though, is something terrible, something that annoys you, something that angers you, you focus on that and you ignore all the good things. So if you get one, so it could be one bad thing and 100 good things, but the peak of that bad thing is so emotionally driven that is what you focus on. And I learned that through customer journeys, customer experience, and I've realized in recent times that exists in football. People use that exact same thing. It's like, I hate players that give the ball away. So for that reason, I don't care how many goals Bruno Fernandes scores, because he gives the ball away so much, I can't rate him. The other way around, it's like this guy, I know he doesn't score, I know he doesn't assist, I know he gives the ball away a lot, but you know the way he does his step overs is my favorite thing in football, so I'm going to love him no matter what. I'm giving two extreme examples, but it sits in there, and it's kind of, it's a shame really, because it's just, Lukaku's brilliant. Listen, Gooner Express, I know it's been a tough day for all football fans today, but thank you for calling in and having your say, mate. I really appreciate it. Top man. Thank you, buddy. Top man. We have a super chat here that says, respect Denmark for playing on, but ask a mental health pro, they say, isn't a good idea. Similar to concussion protocol, decisions should be out of the players' hands and they shouldn't play in such a situation. And listen, when it comes to these circumstances, I'm always willing to be medically led, because look, in a cold light of day, I'm a moron when it comes to the medical situation. I saw a row on Twitter earlier over whether or not you can or can't swallow your tongue. Someone saying 100% you can. Another person saying, no, you can't. I'm just sort of like, I know both of you. Neither of you are doctors. Leave it out. Or maybe at a doctor and ask them maybe. I kind of feel like, for me, if a mental health expert says they shouldn't have done it, then that's good enough for me. They shouldn't have done it. And I'd like to know why. Like, I'd love a clinical psychologist to explain why. But they did, and it was brave of them. We'll see what the ramifications are for them, and I just hope that there isn't any lasting damage to anybody. The hope is, though, that if they get the test results back and there isn't any underlying conditions with Eriksen and he's going to make a speedy full recovery, then the hope is that it can settle them down as well. I pray everyone is safe on that. But I do hear you, bro. I do hear you. Next caller, we're going to go to Man Like Abs. The Chelsea fan is with us. What you saying, bro?
So first and foremost, big up to the Denmark team, because they made a human ball around Eriksen when he was getting CPR, and hopefully Eriksen recovers through it. You don't want to see it. Abdelhak Nouri was one of them who got it a few years ago. I had even one named Mbamba at Tottenham when he collapsed on the floor. So yeah, hopefully he pulls through and hopefully he can make it back in time for the tournament. But yeah, so what can we say? Lukaku back on it, doing what he's done. And I'm really happy to see him proving all his doubters wrong, because yeah, he didn't have a great last season at Man United, but what he's done is he's refined his game. He's shown that he's not all about goals and numbers, but he's also, the overall body of work is actually quite good. And that's one thing I'm really excited about Lukaku for. And also, a man who no one's going to talk about, but when he came on was just having the time of his life, Eden Hazard. If you saw when he came on, Terry, he was just doing skills, disrespecting them Russian defenders for fun. He literally tore them new ones, and made grown men with wives look like dickheads. Sorry for swearing, but that's just the best way of analyzing it. But yeah, big up Lukaku. If we do end up getting him, I always said I wanted Haaland, but if we don't get Lukaku, I would not be against it because he's going to refine his game. His all-round play has generally always been good, and hopefully, his trajectory can only go up from here.
There we go. Listen, Abs, thanks for calling in, mate, and having your say. I really appreciate that. And yes, Eden Hazard did look very, very tasty when he came on. A lot of you are saying you can swallow your tongue. Some people are saying you can't. I'm not getting involved. As I said, I have no idea really. I'm what I call leader led. So if I hear a doctor say you can, then I'll agree with it. If I hear a doctor say you can't, then I'll say that until someone else changes my mind. It's kind of how I operate in them things. Do you know what you'll end up finding it is with something like that? You'll probably find you do and you don't. You probably find you don't actually do it. You probably find the way that it sits in your mouth, it stops you from breathing, but people just say it's swallowing your tongue. I bet you'll find there is like a nuance to it like that. But listen, I don't really know why we ended up bringing that up. It's my fault probably, but there we go. There we go. Let's do some more calls here. I'm a doctor. Mohammed says, and I've never heard about swallowing. Okay, cool. If you're a doctor, then I trust you, my guy. Thank you very, very much for letting us know. Next on the show, we're going to go to Baggy. Baggy's with us now. What are you saying, buddy? You're on mute if you're trying to talk, buddy. Baggy's not going to speak, so we're going to go to Stacy. Stacy, welcome back to the terrace. What do you want to say?
Hey, hi, Terry. How you doing?
I'm very, very well. How are you?
Listen, you know what? I just want to say quickly, I hope Eriksen is doing better today. I never prayed as hard as I prayed today because we were watching somebody almost die today on a pitch, watching a game we all love. We almost watched this man die, and because of the Patrice Mwamba protocols that were placed, his life was saved. So we have to be grateful for these little things, even though, that was an incident when Mwamba fell that just completely took everybody's legs out from under him. It saved Eriksen's life today. So we have to be grateful for that. And another thing, also, I just don't think that team should have been playing. I don't know how you can mentally get your head straight after seeing your player having chest compressions, because he was having chest compressions on that pitch done to him. He was also having shock treatment to his heart. There was a defibrillator there. He had 4 or 5 shots to his heart on the pitch. They were watching somebody they loved and cared about almost die on that pitch. And how do you mentally come back from that? Because let's be real, football is not just played physically. It's played between the ears as well. That's a huge part of the game. And they came out and played another, 50-something minutes? And they just weren't into it. I mean, look at the goal that was scored. You'll never see Kasper Schmeichel make that kind of mistake. On a normal day, you don't see him do stuff like that. That penalty that Højbjerg took, there's no way. I mean, come on. I don't know why they couldn't have waited maybe a day to play the game. Just to give these people a chance, because they're human beings. And we keep forgetting about that. This man almost died on the watching this game, and I just don't get it. I don't understand what FIFA was thinking. I don't understand what these people were thinking. They should never have played the rest of that match.
Listen, I do respect your opinion, and I was talking to I was shocked that it went on today. I truly was. I couldn't quite believe that they had done it. I suppose, there's a lot of reports that the players wanted to do it, but I think as one of the previous commenters said, super chatters, maybe this should have been taken out of their hands. So I do respect where you're coming from there. Stacey, thank you very much for phoning in and having your say. Thank you very, very much indeed. Thank you. There's a comment here. I want to read this out because it's interesting. It says, I'm a HCP. You cannot literally swallow your tongue, but you can end up blocking your airways because it retracts into your mouth throat. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, like swallow it actually means goes down. Yeah. So I knew it would be an in-between thing. If that's the truth, which it probably is, I knew it'd be an in-between thing. Because I suppose you can't actually swallow it because it's attached, isn't it? But yeah, cool. We live and learn. We have another super chat here. Says the reason is if they are not fully in it, even if they think they are. They can result in bad tackles and injuries and other things. I'm not a doctor, but a friend who deals with mental health confirmed this all to me. And listen, I do respect that. I completely get where you are coming from with that opinion. Nate Dogg says Lukaku has a goal to game ratio of 1.8 during his stint from Everton to Inter. He scored 42 goals in 96 appearances for Man United. That's not flopping. Stats matter, Terry. With Sancho, get well soon, Eriksen. Yeah, listen, his goals at Man United were pretty good. It was his approach play and hold-up play that wasn't very good. That's what I've noticed improved tonight. His hold-up play was excellent. But then I saw a quote that I think Culture Cam's put out about how for, I think, 3 or 4 solid months, that's all Conte made him work on in training with his hold-up play. And it improved. Next caller on the terrace tonight is going to be... next caller on the show tonight is going to be... some of your comments. There was a video I watched there that it did cheer me up a bit. Have you seen it? It's the guy that phones. Have you seen this thing? I think it's from TikTok. It was in a WhatsApp group I'm in where it's guy phones his boss at work, but it's like a Sesame Street puppet. And he's like, "Hi," and his boss is like, "Hi, how are you?" He said, "Yeah, I'm fine." He says, "What's up?" He says, "Well, so this is the guy phoning his boss. This is the boss that makes it easier because I can't do voices." So he's like, "How you doing, boss?" Yeah, I'm fine. What's the matter? I need to let you know something. There's been an invasion of female aliens on Earth, and they're kidnapping all men with gigantic penises. His boss, now this is me in the middle. His boss starts laughing at this point. He says, "All right, okay, thanks for telling me." He said, "Listen, boss, you don't have to worry. You're completely safe." Right? That's the first thing. I thought that was funny, telling his boss has got a small one, right? He goes, "Oh, yeah, cheers. Thanks for that, mate. Not a problem at all. But what are you calling for?" Goes, "Well, I just wanted to say I'm not going to be in work today and to let you know this spaceship is amazing." I love it. It was really it was funny. It was a really good joke. But he actually phoned his boss. You can tell by the way his boss was laughing on the phone that it was it was a real call. It wasn't like sort of staged. It was great. Nice way of raising the mood. Comment here says, we see upsets on a regular basis. That's attributing. Sorry, my brain weren't working. Now I got there in the end. I'm so impressed with myself. My head, when I read that word, you know what my brain was saying? It was saying Attenborough. That's what being dyslexic like. I was reading it. It was saying Attenborough. It says attributing that to the incident that took place is like taking away credit from the underdogs. Big up both teams. Thank you very much for that super chat, my guy. Man Like Rack is on the channel next. Hope you're doing well, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, Tel. It was a bit shocking.
You're really, really quiet.
Oh, sorry. Me? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Is that any better?
Nice, really faint.
Oh, 1 second. Mic volume. Let me change my mic volume. Is that better?
No.
Oh, shit.
And I got an echo.
I'll call back.
All right, mate. No worries, mate. Cheers. That weren't just me, right? We can't hear you. A lot of people are saying we can't hear you as well. We're going to go to Donny James next. What you saying, buddy?
Hi, Terry. Before I get started, I want to give my prayers and wishes to Christian Eriksen and his family. I really hope he has a speedy recovery. I was a young kid when I saw the Mwamba incident, and it, as a neutral, it tore me apart. So to see that on the pitch today, I was grief-stricken, man. So I do wish Christian Eriksen a speedy recovery. I'm grateful that he's alive. I'm so glad that he was awake and talking, and I heard reports that he was FaceTiming, his team and that. So, massive praise for that. In terms of the Belgian game tonight, I mean, wow, Romelu Lukaku. And this makes me sort of think about it. And it sort of relates in a way to what Man U were going to do this summer with David De Gea if he was going to go. I feel like selling Lukaku, it wasn't a football decision. I feel like selling Lukaku was a business decision. But the difference between Lukaku and if De Gea was going to go this summer, with Romelu Lukaku, I think the fans didn't like his approach play, which was fair enough. It wasn't the best in the world. But I think it was still a business decision because you could get loads of money from selling Romelu Lukaku. If Man U sold David De Gea, I feel like it was the same kind of situation where they would have got loads of money on it, so it would have been a business decision. But some of the fans that have an agenda against David De Gea, or some of the fans that maybe not prefer David De Gea, would have been on the praise of this signing. So I feel like that's where people fall into that Glazer trap in a way, because they'll support business decisions because they don't like that player for certain reasons. So I feel like Lukaku more and more, every time he plays for a different club or every time he plays for his nationality, I feel like it was a business decision, and I feel like some of the fans that didn't like him sort of fell into that Glazer trap with him. I thought he had a great game today. I think Eden Hazard played well. He was taking shots for fun. I think that Belgium. To be fair, I predicted Belgium to win this. I predicted Belgium to win this Euros, and the reason why I did is because when you add KDB to the occasion when he's back, it is like an unstoppable machine. You cannot destroy it with sledgehammers. You can't hit it with baseball bats like a baseball player. You can't destroy it with grenade launchers. You can't run over it with a tank. They're an unstoppable machine when they've got all the functions in place. And that's why I think Roberto Martinez gets linked with the top jobs, because he's got that team working in function with each other. As for Russia, I don't think I see them going anywhere. If I could name my surprise of the tournament, it would probably be North Macedonia, not Russia. But I feel like Russia didn't really show enough today. I mean, you were right with that 38-year-old that looked lost. I think Coppinger could have done a better job than that Russian guy. So I think that, I think they were lost. But yeah, Terry, big up yourself, big up the Terrace, big up to the football community. Big up to the football community, because you guys really, stepped up with your support. You stepped up with your respect for the family. You stepped up with your respect in the community today, and it showed the best and worst in people today. So big up to the football community, man. And listen, for me, I'm just really excited to stay away from league football for a couple of months and just enjoy international football. And
I bet you.
To be fair, though, I've been told we're going to get five to 9 new signings done at the back end of next week, so I might be busy anyway.
I bet you will be. Listen, Donny James, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Top man. Thank you. We're going to go back to Rack now, see if his mic's working. What are you saying?
Any better?
Yes.
Oh, good. Look, I was shocked today because Denmark and Copenhagen is a place close to my heart. I lived in Copenhagen for 6 years, and I used to do events at Parken, so I know some of the guys who work at Parken pretty well, and I was really proud of the way that they conducted themselves and the speed with which treatment was administered to Christian, because I met him once as well, and he was a lovely guy. That's back when he was playing at Ajax, and just seemed like Danish people in general are just very solid, dependable, nice, warm people, and so I've got a lot of affinity with that country. I was shocked that the game went ahead though, just because we had a bit of discussion with Monster on Twitter with some other people who were saying that if the players have said it's okay to go ahead, then they should go ahead. But I kind of feel like that decision, like the Man United fan you had on earlier was saying, maybe that stuff should have been taken out of their hands, because I use the analogy: if we were playing on the park, playing football when we were kids or something, or even if we were adults, and one of your mates went down and went to hospital, even if you found out he was okay a couple of hours later, would you really go back like, oh, all right, lads, let's go back onto the pitch and finish that game? Like, on a human level, I thought that decision didn't need to be taken by the players. It should have probably been taken out of their hands. And the biggest thing is obviously that Eriksen is safe, or hopefully he's safe, and hopefully there aren't any underlying issues. Perhaps this could have just been sometimes shit happens and it's a freak thing, and we'll see him back on the pitch someday soon. But best wishes to him.
That's what I hope as well. And I don't want to speculate on what could be wrong with him, but I have a friend who had a knock on the head. We were actually in a gymnastics center. He had a knock on the head because he had a really bad fall from a move he was trying, led to him having a seizure. The seizure was so bad that he went into cardiac arrest, but he didn't have a bad heart. Do you get where I'm coming from? So it's but because I'm not medically trained, I don't know whether that's worse than actually having I don't know. So it's almost all I hope is that it's the best case scenario from him from this point. Because as I say, that's a problem when you're not medically trained and you hear all these things. It's I remember
speculating. It's just not. Yeah, like, have to leave it down to the experts.
People say, "Oh, no, it's better that you break your leg than do this ligament." And I'm sort of like, you might be right, but I'm gonna unless I hear it from a doctor's mouth, I literally anyone who's not medically trained, when they tell me things about medicine, I'm sort of like, yeah, cool. It's like when anyone tells me about mental health. It's like, are you a clinical psychologist? No, I ain't listening then. Like if you show me the book you read and it's in the book, or you show me the video where the guy says it, then I'll believe you. But if it's just like James from the pub, it's like, oh, nah, bruv, this is terrible for you. I'm like, really, I just can't take it on board. I find it really hard to. My guy, listen, Rack, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Speak to you soon. Top man, thank you. Next, we've got Elite KJ on his way, but next up, we're going to have Zion on the show this here. Zion, welcome back to the terrace, mate. What you here to say, buddy? You're on mute if you're trying to talk. Oh, he didn't work, so we're going to go to KJ instead. KJ, what are you saying, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. Fresh from, late night runs and that, especially what happened earlier today. I just want to say God is good in that, you know what I'm saying? God is good. And nice to see Eriksen surviving and recovering well. That was mad scenes, absolutely mad scenes earlier today. And yeah, this just shows you how important life is, you know what I mean? And how we shouldn't take it for granted. And at any moment, things can change dramatically. And we don't know about Eriksen's career now. That would be something that we come into question. He might be considering if there's any more he can give after that. I hope we all hope that we can, but if he chooses not to, we all understand. And yeah, man, it's one of those ones where it just makes you reflect on life and makes you happy that you are living, you are breathing, and we can experience these things together. So yeah, man, it's been a different day, but on the football, it's been an interesting day for football. You know what I mean? Belgium doing a madness tonight. You know what I mean? Lukaku showing the levels that he can get to if you utilize him correctly and give him the love. I think that when he was at United, he didn't get the love that he needed. He didn't get the play style that he needed to suit him, and he was mismanaged by the club. And you see what happens when he moves to a club that do give him the love, do give him the tactics and the players around him. And now you see what he's doing for his country as well. He's looking slimmer. He's looking tidy. His first touch ain't horrendous. You know what I mean? Like his first touch is looking silky. There's that one part on the right hand side in the first half where he dribbles through like a couple of players, and you're just like, this is the Romelu Lukaku that we love to see. And yeah, as a United fan, I'm happy for him. He's a player that I always liked, and when he left, it was more of a man, it's a shame that he never worked out. You know what I mean? It's a shame that the things didn't go the way we wanted them to. But I'm happy to see him flourishing. And that second goal, man, was beautiful. When I say Romelu Lukaku, that's the kind of goal you think of. He makes that running behind, you slip him in and bang, just finishes it. And that's his weaker foot as well. So big up Lukaku for that performance. And yeah, Belgium laying out a marker. Like they answered the call of Italy. You know what I'm saying? They said, you guys think you can just do a 3-0? Okay, we can do 3-0. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And it's you're absolutely right about Lukaku and Belgium have laid down a little marker. And look, Russia didn't really challenge him tonight. The same as we didn't see Italy challenged by Turkey. So no one's going to get carried away and say they're going to run away with it. But Eden Hazard, who looked very, very silky when he came on, there's this element of, what's he going to look like? A couple more games in when he's fit, KDB to return to this team. Like going forward, they've got some serious talent. It's whether or not the defensive line can hold up. We as we know, when it comes to France, it's strong throughout. There's no doubt about it. But we will see. And of course, it was a big game tonight. The next game in the tournament now is England. And how are you feeling? Sort of, I don't know, what are we now? Like 14, 15 hours out?
I'm calm, I'm very calm. That's not out of, I'm calm, we think we're going to win it. I'm just very relaxed towards the game. I'm looking forward to it. And I think with internationals, I don't get as stressed as I do with Man United. So this is, for me, it's more of one of those things. I'm just like, I want England to do well. I want them to succeed. But if they don't, it's one of those ones where I'll be upset, but like not as long as I would for United. But yeah, I'm really calm, excited for the game. Hopefully we get to see like Foden shine Grealish shine, Rashford shine. Hopefully, we just get to see the young players come through and do their thing, man. But yeah, Croatia's gonna be a tough. It's gonna be a tough game. They're not the force they once was. I'm not gonna sit here and think that they are the same team from the World Cup, but they're still a very good team with very good technical players. Modric is still leading that team. He's still gonna have Rakitic, Perisic in there as well. So they've got Kramaric in there. He's got goals in him as well. So it's gonna be a good game. And if England win this, I think that's a very good foundation to go on and top the group, because this would on paper is the toughest challenge that England get in the group. So if they beat Croatia, it'll be a very good win, and it'll be a very good foundation to go and go on along in the tournament. Maybe reach like you think.
Who knows? It may very well happen. There's been a couple of tweets that have come. Well, one tweet that's come out here from Fabrizio Romano. He says the Inter CEO has said, and I'm not sure whether he told Riyadh Sports, that's probably Italian outlet. He said the words are: Christian Eriksen just sent a message to the Inter WhatsApp chat. It said it was a few minutes ago. We're optimistic about Christian's condition. Denmark staff have told us that the situation is under control. So I don't quite know what they mean by optimistic about his condition, whether they mean like complete survival or if they like recovery, or whether they mean like can play again or whatever. And you know, it all just depends on these results that come out. But you know, the fact that the most important bit there is that the situation is under control. You never get those messages. Just one great thing I love about medical people, they never say things like it's under control if there's a chance. Like, I don't know if you've ever been in, I've been in a few horrible situations in hospitals where you're like, well, is the person going to survive? And they're really quite blunt, but it's a good thing. They're sort of like, can't tell you, or it's touch and go, or it's really dicey. They wouldn't use the word dicey, but it's really critical. The fact they're using words like under control, it lets the medical experts think that it's going to be okay. So that's really positive news that Fabrizio shared a few moments ago, which is really, really good.
We love to hear it, man. We love to hear it. Eriksen is a wonderful player as well. So the fact that he's looking like someone come on the other side of this, on the better side, see, it sounds good. Apparently, he did speak or text the players saying, go ahead and continue playing the game and do your best. So yeah, this is a good thing. And also, I mentioned Rakitic for Croatia. Apparently, he's retired from international duty, so he won't be playing with them in this tournament, from what I know. But still, going to be a good game tomorrow, and hopefully more positive news for England with tomorrow as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, fingers crossed, my guy. Listen, KJ, thanks for phoning in tonight, mate. I'll speak to you soon, brother. All the best, mate. Thank you. We're gonna try Xeon again here. Are you with us, bro?
Yeah, sorry about that, Terry.
That's all right, mate. What you here to say, buddy? What you here to say?
Yeah, man, about Christian Eriksen, man. Man, life's short. Let's be real. Everyone's gonna, this is what I say to everyone when I'm at work, when I'm at home. Life is short. Enjoy it while you can, because especially in the time that we are living in right now, it's even worse. Yeah. So seeing him, I was watching the game live as well. So seeing him go down like that, I've never seen something like that in my entire life. I mean, I've seen players, get injured and, have horrific tackles, and that's ended their careers. But this has just been a freak of nature. And you don't want to see that in football. Let's be real. No. You don't want to see that. You want to see a player, if he gets injured, you want to see him, go down fighting. Not a player like that. So, hope he gets well soon. Hope this doesn't end his career, as a footballer. And you got to feel for his family and his wife as well, who was definitely there as well, and who was consoled by the Denmark players, and obviously Schmeichel, and I think the captain of Denmark as well. So, yeah, well, it's tough times for football. Let's be real. So, but I've heard some of the news that Fabrizio said, and he's in a stable condition. FaceTimed his teammates, and hopefully goes well from him.
Yeah, 100%. Great words, mate. Very good words being spoken there. Top man. Thanks for coming on, having your say, mate. Really appreciate it. Top man. We're back tomorrow with more content for you. I'll be back in the morning after the England game and after the Netherlands game in the evening as well. Again, all our best wishes to Christian Eriksen, his wife, his family, his friends, and everybody related to football that witnessed what they did today. Until next time, Take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.